The FBI calls him Matty the Horse Ianniello. He appeared before a magistrate this afternoon, flanked by a U.S. prosecutor and his own attorney. The alleged leader of the Genovese mafia family based in New York City was arrested in Hollywood this morning after indictments were handed down from a federal grand jury in New York, charging him with racketeering, mail fraud, bankruptcy fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy. 19 people were arrested, 4 in South Florida. 65-year-old Benjamin Cohen and his son, 37-year-old Chester Cohen, were arrested at the Fountains condo in Boynton Beach. 65-year-old Morton Walker also arrested in Delray Beach. In federal court in Fort Lauderdale, U.S. Magistrate Patricia Kyle said Ianniello's bond will remain at $1 million cash or a personal bond with property as collateral. Less than an hour later, Ianniello came up with a $1 million corporate surety bond. Although he's not in custody, Ianniello will have to return to court Friday in Fort Lauderdale for a removal hearing. Ianniello's arrest follows another arrest in New York last Friday. Carmen Persico, an alleged key leader of the Colombo family, was a top 10 fugitive of the FBI. New York law enforcement officials say they are shaking up the mob, and with a combined effort to get at the heart of organized crime, the network of families is on the defensive, and that means a gradual decline in criminal activities. At the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, Jerry Cohen, Channel 10 Eyewitness News.
2 New Jersey men, Rinaldo Reino Jr. and Sr., were charged in a 1972 gangland murder. It happened in front of a North Miami Beach bar. The man they allegedly ambushed was Emmanuel Cammarata, a reputed soldier in Joseph Colombo's underworld. However, the state attorney's office hasn't been able to prosecute the Reinos because of a technicality. It's complicated, but the crime took place when the death penalty was unconstitutional. In effect, that put a moratorium on prosecuting first-degree murders during that period. However, today, Circuit Court Judge Gerald Wetherington ruled that the men should not walk free on a technicality and that they will have to stand trial. Assistant Public Defender Frederick Sake says he will appeal.
Now, if in fact the capital punishment was no longer available, it is our contention that this prosecution is barred by the statute of limitations, which would have been 2 years at that time. The state's position, which was granted, or the motion to dismiss which was denied today, is that the statute of limitations is open-ended and unlimited and the prosecution can proceed.
If today's ruling on the Reino case is upheld by the state Supreme Court, it will open the door for the prosecution of persons responsible for about a dozen other murders in Dade County and more than 60 murders across the state. Bob Kaplitz, Channel 4 News, Dade Circuit Court.
What were you doing last night when Mr. Cammarata came in?
I was in the kitchen when he prepared the catfish, and he took some with him. He was on his way out when the tragedy happened. He's a friend of the owners, Mrs. Mary Jane Cobb, the owner of the Steak and Onion.
Why did he come in for the fish?
Because he had went to Lake Okeechobee, and he had purchased some fish up there. And Mrs. Cobb was getting half of the fish, and he was taking the other half with him.
Was he a patron of the steak place here, the Steak Tavern?
He was a personal friend of Mrs. Cobb's.
How long have you known him?
I've only known him for about a month.
What kind of a person did he seem to be?
He seemed to be a very nice person, quiet, gentle type. Up in age, he was 73 years old.
What exactly happened when he left here?
Well, he picked up the ice box. It was an ice chest, and he had it in both hands, and he went out the door. The door closed, and he got around to the side of the building here, and then there was gunfire.
And what did you do then when you heard the shots?
Everybody dropped on the floor, and I froze. I looked out, and he's laying there. He was still alive.
Was he able to talk, or was he too badly hurt?
He didn't talk. As far as I know, he didn't talk while he was out here. He was too badly hurt, and he was bleeding too bad.
Do you have any idea who might have done this?
Not the faintest. And I don't know for what reason it would have happened, but I have no idea, and I don't think anybody else has.